Hello, folks, and welcome back to Daily Crypto Byte. I'm CJ Reichel, joined by Dr. J, as well as my esteemed colleague, Matthew Montemayor. We're going to talk Bitcoin today, of course, and some altcoins. Jon started a very special segment of the show yesterday called the Doge of the Day. I don't know if that's going to be a permanent segment, but I have one to share today as well.
Oh, let's hear it. I bet I know what it is. Ooh, I know what it is.
I don't know. CJ always throws some surprise picks out there, Jon. CJ goes against the flow. So
Does it begin with the letter T?
No.
Oh, damn. I thought that was it. Okay. What is it? I don't want to spoil it.
Elron, E-Gold.
you want to get right into it, CJ? I can pull up the chart.
Yeah. I just really like this chart formation. There was a lot of hype once this thing was added on Voyager. Typically, they don't add any junk. A lot of their assets have been doing very well after they've been added to that exchange and or that brokerage, I should say. And this one is at a particular point in time where it is kind of come down after that exchange listing, but has settled down and formed some nice support at a potential higher low in the trend. Now we're starting to trend again, seeing some bullish price action with that, what is that, a green 3 or 4 on sequential on the daily. So very promising from the bullish perspective. May not go straight up, but I definitely think we're going to retest those highs and create new ones based on how this thing's looking. Not to mention the fundamentals of the project, which are pretty fair thus far and have gained some decent attention. But that is going to be my Doge pick of the day. Hopefully I don't end up in the penalty box tomorrow. So.
Yeah, I'm in the penalty box right now for my Cardano pick yesterday, but I'm still holding in there, still believing.
I bought it this morning.
Good.
I bought Cardano this morning. Let's see, what did I pay? $116.95 in rough terms for Cardano. Let me see. And I did it on the sponsor of this program, ADA. I bought on the Voyager platform. It's already gone a little bit against me, but I think Matt's probably right. Maybe he was just early when he was saying 120. So I'll take a shot here.
Yeah, I think it'll pan out for you, Jon. I want to quickly talk about another thing that's kind of all over the news pertaining to crypto, and also something that our customers can take advantage of because a couple of these assets are listed on Voyager, and that's NFTs, or non-fungible tokens. And I want to start by talking about kind of how COVID has accelerated the adoption of not only cryptocurrency, but also many other paradigm shifts. And one of those things has been collectibles. The collectibles hobby has absolutely boomed during COVID, whether it be sports cards, trading cards, anything collectible, even art. It's really gone up in value during COVID. This article cites a bunch of reasons why, but it is kind of an undeniable trend. So I want to talk about two things in particular pertaining to cryptocurrency that have just been impossible to ignore in the last month. So NFTs serve a lot of purposes, and two main ones are art and collectibles. So this art from Bleeple actually just sold on Christie's auction exchange for 6.6 million. And it's digital art, completely digital, logged on the blockchain. And there's a lot of differing opinions about this. Some people think this is a speculative asset. People are buying this stuff just to speculate on its value and flip it later. Whereas other people think it is more analogous to actual art, where you can collect it and kind of flex your ownership on the people that don't have as cool of art as you. Another example is NBA Top Shots. This is something that even all my friends have been talking about. Very analogous to sports card collecting. I'm a big sports card collector. Been collecting for years, collect LeBron, Giannis, Michael Jordan. But that's why I love NBA Top Shots. I think it's kind of the perfect storm where, like I talked about, this paradigm shift that's taking place because of COVID is leading people to collect more, but also leading people to be more accepting of blockchain technology and digital goods and services. So really it was the perfect storm for these things to come to fruition. And that leads me into two NFTs that are listed on Voyager that have just been going absolutely parabolic this week. And that first one is Engine. And Engine is a really cool concept. It's an NFT that you can use for video games. And anyone that plays video games knows that you can spend a lot of money on skins and cool collectibles, cool guns, and make your character just an absolute baller. And one of the ways that Engine is kind of trying to capitalize on this is making their token the currency for the gaming collectible market. So you can actually buy collectibles with Engine, and you can melt them down back into Engine. So it's a really interesting concept. And obviously it's one that retail traders are speculating on heavily. The next one is Mana, and that also is an NFT that has gone parabolic this week. This one is pertaining to Decentraland, a very cool concept. It's essentially a VR world where you can buy property, you can buy real estate, you can buy skins, you can buy collectibles. It's basically its own virtual world, and Mana is the currency of that world. So cool concept. This kind of this scarcity of all these things in the real world are being applied to the blockchain, like real estate, like collectibles, like art. So there is huge opportunity here. And you may look at these charts and think, I missed the move, it's gone parabolic. But I think these are something that will be here to stay. And I think these are going to be assets that the retail trader is really going to continue to speculate on during the next boom of crypto. So it may look like it's you missed the bus, but I still think that getting in now, you're still a very, very early mover in this whole NFT experience.
Well, and for the folks that are new, I know most of them that are watching are not new, but to those who are, a fungible token would be like a Bitcoin. One Bitcoin is always worth what another Bitcoin is worth, right, guys? But a non-fungible token would be something that is unique. There is nothing else like that particular that NFT. So just as you're saying, Matt, when you've got, you know, whether it's LeBron James or Steph Curry or any of those, you know, that were put into that cube or whatever, that is unique, and it is only one. It's not one of many, it is one. And, you know, for a whole variety of reasons, some people want to be the person that owns just that one and can prove it with the blockchain.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the ultimate flex, one of one, you know.
The only one. There can only be one, just like Highlander. Yeah, there's Steph Curry. There's only one of that.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. I'm not a huge, I love Steph Curry, but I don't know that I'd want that digital thing right now, Matt, that NFT, but there are a lot of people who would. And I imagine some of them are, well, what did the NBA say they put how many million into this alone? I mean, it was a serious amount of cash, how much the NBA dropped into this.
And that's huge that the NBA kind of gave their blessing on this, allowing them to use these videos, providing the licensing and providing a ton of cash to get this started. They teamed up with Dapper Labs, who also made Crypto Kitties, one of the first big NFT booms. So yeah, this is a legit product with backing by the NBA and Dapper Labs. So I think it's going to be something that's here to stay. But yeah, it's still kind of a concept that's just weird to grasp, you know?
And to both of your guys' points, being that concept that's kind of weird to grasp, and then John, you saying, you know, I don't know if I'd want a Steph Curry NFT, but that's kind of, we were talking about this on Trade the Chain yesterday, and how we really haven't understood how the art community values art throughout the last 50 to 60 years, since pretty much Andy Warhol came in and messed everything up. John, as an art major, I'm sure you're well aware of all that. But yeah, I do think what we're seeing right now is a lot of those NFTs bought due to the craze and the hype, and a lot of those things are just for kind of a short-term flip. But in the long term, decades down the road, I do expect a couple NFTs to be out there to be very comparable to something scarce like, you know, Honus Wagner original baseball card.
Well, let me throw one out at you guys that would have been my Doge of the day. although it's not a Doge. This one's, uh-oh, did we lose CJ again, Matt?
No, he's still here.
Oh, okay. The Theta. I mean, this one's up 14% today. Beginning of March, you know, well, at the end of February, let me drop this one chart here. Let me see. The end of February, it was $3.27 per coin. Today, it's $4 and give or take 19 cents. And it's up another 14%, 13% today. I was reading, guys, that the Steve Cohen, the co-founder, Steve Chen, I apologize, Steve Chen, co-founder of YouTube, is one of those folks who's really talking a lot about Theta and involved in the project. Do you ever look at this one, Matt?
Oh yeah, absolutely. CJ and I and one of our good friends in the community, Rob, actually talk about it a lot, and it kind of ties in with the NFTs a little bit, because I think the main appeal of this is not only, so it's basically a comparable service to YouTube, but decentralized. And if you're a YouTube content creator, I think that's the person who's going to benefit most from this, because YouTube content creators have kind of been forced to bend to the whim of the YouTube algorithm. YouTube's become so big that it's kind of it's just lost track. It's not able to look at every video, and videos have been unnecessarily censored, particularly in the crypto community. A lot of these videos get censored for really no good reason. And there's no alternative to YouTube right now. Like, if you're a content creator making videos, the only place to upload is to YouTube. So I think Theta is a very necessary progression in terms of content creation. And not only will it benefit the creator, but also the user. The user experience should be better on a decentralized platform. You'll have more privacy, less targeted advertising, and things along those lines. So I think it has massive potential. It's one of those things that could be a revolutionary service. And I'm just basing that on how popular YouTube is and how much I've heard from content creators that YouTube is in dire need of a change.
Yeah, and I agree. And I love the peer-to-peer aspect of it too, Matt. So in other words, this is in many ways, I guess, similar to Napster when that was peer-to-peer. And, you know, it was so difficult to stop because of it. Same thing here. If it's peer-to-peer videos, you could see, I would think that YouTube is paying attention to this. Google is watching this closely, I'm sure.
No doubt, no doubt.
Well, as far as the market today, I know CJ wanted to talk market yesterday, and the market obviously was yesterday not struggling as hard as it is today, but it was kind of all over the place. I mean, we're down about 0.5% in the S&P. We're seeing a lot of pressure. At the U.S. 10-year is down again and pushing towards 150, 148 right now and change. So that's something that ultimately is usually when the dollar is demuting, it's usually good for Bitcoin. But today's a day when people were taking profits after it traded to 52 yesterday, came off pretty decently today. Where is it right now? Is it still hanging in there, guys, around 49 and change this morning?
Yep, 49 too.
Okay. So do you think we could see, Matt or CJ, either of you, a test of that low that we put in basically a little over a week ago, which was somewhere between 42 and 43, depending on the exchange?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Possible or probable?
Possible.
Okay. So you still think the Bitcoin bulls are in charge?
Yeah, it is very dependent on that stock market that you've been mentioning. We are down about 0.5% in the S&P. And if that continues, I think it's going to be very difficult for Bitcoin to thrive and kind of counter rally that. But we did get a close above 50K yesterday, which was pretty significant from a daily perspective, but it was very on the border. Like there wasn't a lot of strength behind that close. And we're seeing it sell off this morning. So it is possible that we could test 43K. I don't think we go much below there. But for the short term, a lot of that is going to be dependent on the stock market. But we're hanging in there. The trend is just kind of not doing much.
Yeah. Agreed, CJ.
Well,
and one thing I'd like to look for is you can see here that we're kind of it looks like we are close to possibly bottoming out. I think if we can kind of get a reversal here and put in a lower low at this level and then put in a higher high above this level, that would be very encouraging to me that we actually could eventually complete this formation and break above this level. But the way it's looking right now, CJ, and with the way the S&P is looking, I'm inclined to agree with you that retesting this level down here is actually a reality.
well, when the biggest stocks on earth are seeing 3 and anywhere from 1% and 3% declines, like Tesla's down 4% right now at 627. There's a pretty good reason. I know Snowflake has a lockup that people are getting ahead of it. They're selling Snowflake hard ahead of the lockup because for those in the crypto community that don't follow it as closely, if you're an insider in some companies, they lock you up for 6 months for half your stock and another 6 months for a year for the rest of it. That's pretty common. So when those lockups come, that means that people, in many cases, try to sell ahead of it, knowing that the insiders, that's the first time they can sell. And so I think it's a combination of the markets are just like we talked about yesterday with crypto. People raise money in the month of March generally for taxes. And whether they're doing that through crypto sales or stock sales, it's not uncommon for us to see exactly what we've seen for the last 4 or 5 days in the stock market, where it's more or less continual pressure as people are lightening up on positions that hopefully don't send them too far down, but take 10% off the market. You could easily see that, I think.
So it sounds like you're saying that this is just a stage of healthy profit taking before tax season. Would you agree with that?
I would. But the rest of it, CJ, is really whether or not we see that 10-year accelerate back to 161 or higher, because February was a horrible month for Treasury traders. That's part of the reason why it was such a good month for Bitcoin. And if we top out here, then Bitcoin can just go back to its use case or the fact that there's less supply after that halving last May and a lot more demand, which means, of course, we go higher. But if we do see the 10-year continuing to rapidly accelerate towards 160 or 170 even, then I think all bets are off short term. I think even Bitcoin goes down with it, even though otherwise I would think Bitcoin would go up because of that. And a lot of it would just be because people just raise cash, get to the sidelines and wait.
Yeah, I agree. That seems to be what tends to happen when the market just is in that state. People just take the money off the table. So yeah, I agree.
Cool. Well, let's keep an eye on these for tomorrow, guys, and we'll see whether or not we do see a pivot right here at between 48.8 and 49.2 or something like that for Bitcoin.
Yeah, we'll be watching closely. And if anyone has any questions, definitely drop in the crypto room. If you're not a member yet, you can check us out at marketrebellion.com/trycrypto. Just $1 for the first month. So really going to provide some good value for you there. There's a full charting service, community chat. CJ and I provide some trade insights. So stop on by. It's a lot of fun. And yeah.
If you're tired of the exorbitant fees on Coinbase, I urge you to check out Voyager, the sponsor of our show, where you can earn up to 9.5% API interest on your USDC. So definitely urge you to check that out as well.
Cool. See you tomorrow, everybody.
Thank you, folks.